course, you know who this is. What other team could run the bases so nimbly, so adroitly, so alertly, and so much finesse? And this is their colorful manager, Lippy Leo DeRocher. Why, sure. It's the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Ebbets Fielders, the Bums. The most colorful team in the major leagues.
Charlie will catch him for me then.
And now let's watch the way Leo gets the team into shape and into the headlines.
You look great. Come on, Sabina. Well, talk about your sieve infield. I got one here. Well, you know, come on, Brzezinski. Where are you playing? Get over there. Get those two out of the way and get over shortstop. How are you going to get over here? Somebody will tie a horse to you.
Hold on the ball, Johnny.
You got to move around. Come on, Sandlot. How do you go this way? Come on. You look great.
Leo's always at his charming best during infield practice. If you play for DeRocher, you've got to have pepper and plenty of moxie. He'll ride the pants right off a greenhorn.
Hey, Jeffy! You look great. Try it again. Oh, those big hops. You always get those big hops. Come on, Brownie. The Sandlot wonder.
Come on, kid. Come on. Hey.
Kiwanis League. Go on. Now pick it up and throw it. Oh, now look, you haven't got a bucket of paint with you on third base, you know. You've got to get the paintbrush out of your hand. Let's go. Now break you in right. Come on, Dix. Oh, there you are. Want to try it again? Want to try it for a Coca-Cola? Well, you better back up. You know, you're pretty close. You like the level ground, eh? Well, we'll give you one of those then.
Nice line of chatter Leo's got.
Good. Must have been playing in the closet all winter. Give him another one. Well,
Kind but firm, that's Leo.
come on, two-gun heart. I'll get you yet. Got you on the foot once, you know.
Give him on the third, will you, Leo?
Hit one to third? Why, sure. Tie your shoes on, Dixie. Do your best now. This is for the movies. How's that? Didn't you get that? It was a dandy if it had stuck in your glove.
The Dodgers always do the unusual. This contraption is a control net for pitchers. It helps get the free walks out of the old soup bone, because anywhere inside the square is a strike. Leo's got some sluggers, too. Augie Gallan, Bordigaray, Blip himself, Adderholt, and, of course, Dixie Walker.
Well, fellas, that's the general picture of the Brooklyn Club for this coming year. But before leaving you, I'd like to just tell you how happy I was to be able to make the trip overseas. All I can say, fellas, is that I wouldn't have missed it for the world. It was a grand trip, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I hope that you fellas are all home soon, and that the next time that I do get to see you fellas again, that you'll be back home in your favorite ballpark. Thanks very much, and good luck to all of you.
This is what Europe's like, now that the war is over and the Germans are beaten. These were a few of the millions of people who were once labor slaves of the Nazis, and who are now trying desperately to get home. Home to a little farm in Poland, home to a tiny coastal village in Normandy, home to Leningrad, 3,000 miles away. To the Allied military government, they're known as displaced persons. And not until they reach their various countries will there again be order in Europe. Obeying AMG's first instruction, the migrants leave the roads and move into the open fields, where they gather in groups of their own nationality. Footsore and weary, they wait patiently, anxiously. This mother wonders where she's going to get milk for her baby. This woman wants to know if her little girl will have to sleep in a ditch again tonight. Here, a GI attached to AMG interviews men who've lost their homes and their families and arranges to send them and as many others as possible back to one of the hundreds of displaced persons camps which already have been set up throughout Europe. Upon arrival, the children receive first attention. Children without mothers or fathers. Children orphaned by the bombs of battle, the deadly aim of the Nazi firing squad, the hot flames of an oven inside a German death factory. In peace as in war, English, Russians, French, Belgians, and Americans are working together, operating this displaced persons camp. The cooperation and unity that brought about victory is helping to bring order out of the suffering and chaos created by Hitler. After being interviewed, every displaced person undergoes a thorough physical examination. As these people have spread over Europe, disease has spread with them. And today, Europe is threatened with the same raging epidemics that wiped out millions of people after the last war. Typhus, encouraged by foul drinking water, bad food, and wretched sanitation, endangers not only these people, but the lives of the GIs who must occupy Germany. Come and get it. Food. Warm and nourishing food for stomachs gnawed with hunger and ruined by a diet of grass roots and leaves and bread mixed with sawdust. For years, these people starved so that the Germans could eat better than any other nation in Europe. Now, with victory, all this has changed. These people can get the proper amount of vitamins and calories every day, so a little of the damage done their health can be repaired. While waiting, each nationality is given its own quarters in the camp. Here they smoke, relax, and play cards without fear or nervousness for the first time in many years. Why do we and our allies help these people? Is it charity? Is it human kindness? Or is America a sucker to bother with these Europeans now that we've beaten Hitler? A little of human kindness for these people, yes, but not suckers. For today we realize that our half of the world, the American half, cannot remain well if the other half is sick. We realize that we must rehabilitate these displaced persons for our own interest and self-preservation as well as theirs. If we don't help these people now, then the chaos will continue indefinitely, and the seeds of a third world war will take root. In another 20 years, we don't want a child like this in uniform, for if he is, it will probably mean that our own children will be in uniform too. To guarantee the peace and the democratic future of every child in the world. That's why this Belgian baby or Russian baby or French baby or Polish baby is today under an Army woolen blanket marked U.S.
T3 Edgar Frank, now with our Army of Occupation in Germany, writes that he'd like to see a few newsreel shots of the Allied occupation of Germany after the last war. Okay, Sergeant Frank, here it is.
Here you are, Sergeant Frank. A few old-fashioned newsreel pictures, dim and scratched, showing the Allied armies moving in to occupy Germany after the last war. In those days, you didn't see any Jeeps or Shermans, and no German towns or cities were bombed and shelled into rubble. But the German people looked pretty much as they do today, outwardly quiet, passive, seemingly willing to admit they're licked and ready to think about peace. But as we know from the record, even as they quietly watched these Allied troops marching through their cities, the Germans were beginning to rearm secretly, and the German High Command was beginning to plan another war. The war you've just finished fighting, Sergeant Frank. "25 years ago, when these pictures were taken, the Germans were counting on the fact that none of these marching men would want to stay to police them for very long, that they'd get tired and quit. And how right the Germans were. For here was our mistake last time. the British, the Americans, and the French moved in and occupied this zone. They occupied too little and then pulled out too soon, leaving the Germans to occupy themselves.
There are many proud papas in the service, and most of them want to see pictures of their babies. Well, we figured we couldn't answer every father, so we put all the baby requests in a hat and picked out 3 winners. And here they are.
The little lady eating her chow is Diane Sandra Fine, aged 1 whole year. Sandra's father is Sergeant Bernard Fine, stationed as an Army mail clerk somewhere in India. That's right, Sergeant. That's the baby girl you've never seen because she was born after you left the States. All right, Sandra, give the sergeant a smile. Thank you. The second winner is proud Papa T5 Carl Christensen of the 464th Quartermaster Company, now located somewhere in the Pacific. After the show, Corporal, talk to the projectionist. Maybe you can get him to rerun these pictures of your baby boy and your wife. He may get tired, but we bet you won't. Earl M. Robertson, Yeoman 2nd Class. Here's your wife and both of your children. Little Terry, who's 18 months old, and your son Danny, aged 3. When we told your wife Geraldine that you'd probably be seeing these pictures, she asked if we'd mind including the rest of your family. And here they are coming out of your house back home in Roanoke, Virginia. So, here they are coming out of your house back home in Roanoke, Virginia. Yes, here they are, all right, coming out of your house back home in Roanoke, Virginia. Well, they certainly are coming out of your house. Well, you get the idea.
Here is power. Wild, raging torrents of unharnessed power. Not long ago, in the Tennessee Valley of America, when the river went on a rampage, farms, towns, industries were smashed. The energies of the river went to waste, and the energies of the people, too. For with every flood, water which should have soaked into the land ran off uselessly. Precious topsoil traveled with it, uselessly down to the sea. Millions of tons of good farming soil lost forever. But all this was before Congress created the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA, an experiment in one region which could serve as a yardstick for every region. And so, the dam builders came, 200,000 of them. Valley farmers and miners, mountaineers and city workers. To them, this was more than a job. They had a stake in what they were doing. They were building for themselves and for their children. Up in the mountains on the tributary streams, high dams back up reservoirs against the time of drought, releasing the water when needed, holding it in check when the rains come. Down the Tennessee River itself, wide dams give flood control step by step. Instead of alternate floods and drought, water can now be dispatched as trains are dispatched on a railroad system. These are the symbols of an American dream poured into solid concrete. Douglas, Guntersville, Cherokee, Wilson, Pickwick Landing, Chickamauga, Hiwassee, Appalachia, Norris, built for and owned by the people of the United States. Day and night, in peace and war, the rivers are harnessed for the people. Power for the factory, the cities and the villages. the farmers. Power that means jobs and better living for you when the war is over. For in America, we do things in a big way, and they pay off in a big way. The highest dam in the world, 726-foot Boulder Dam on the Colorado River, irrigating millions of acres of desert from the world's largest man-made body of water, Lake Mead, 115 miles long. 602-foot Shasta, one of the principal sources of water and electric power in Southern California. Grand Coulee Dam on the Columbia River, 4,200 feet long, 550 feet high, the biggest thing ever built by man. It turns up 324,000 kilowatts of electricity, enough to pour a veritable stream of aluminum into West Coast aircraft plants. And farther down the Columbia's rapids is Bonneville Dam, another colossus. Nothing was overlooked. Even the famous Columbia River salmon have ladders to help them upstream to the spawning beds. Ultimately, the Columbia River Basin will provide 1,200,000 acres of rich irrigated farmland, enough to support 30,000 farm families. And so, the harnessing of America's rivers goes on, providing power and fertility to win the war today and to make America an even better place to live in tomorrow.
Hello. I suppose some of you are wondering what I'm doing here. Well, you see, some of you fellows have written to me and requested a real good pinup picture of me in nothing but a bathing suit. So, here I am. Oh, I have a lot of other bathing suits at home, but the photographer told me you would like this one the best. Because I'm a pin-up girl. That's what they name me. I'm the kid who loves you all. Don't be shy. Come on and frame me. Stick me in your locker or against the wall. Pin-up girl. You've all embraced me. I'm your dream, your gay mirage. Many eyes have sweetly faced me. I am yours for tacks or pins or mucilage. At night while you count sheep, I'm watching o'er your bed from above. And while you're fast asleep, baby, I know what you're dreaming of. Your pin-up girl. My clothes are daring. They're not much, I must confess. But I swear I'll go on wearing less and less for my pin-up dress. If it will bring you happiness, all my charms for you unfurl. I'm your little pin-up girl. Oh, shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June or July. Snow time ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal.